Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this box and it's just not fitting together. It could be the thickness of the wood. But he's doing it right. If you cut this out, it would fit together good, but there's some problems with the box. So let's take a rectangle and go around this box and make a border. Then we're going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. And you see what the problem is. He's got some leaks. So let's delete the box for just a second. I'm going to grab this with this pick tool. I'm going to grab all this. And then I'm going to grab it with the shape tool. I'm going to select all these. It turns them solid. I'm going to go to Windows, Dockers, Join Curves. And because they're solid, I can hit Apply. You really need to do this with the pick tool. Then take the shape tool. And you see, and now turn them all solid and hit Apply. Don't really have to do it to this side, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Shape tool, select them all, and hit Apply. Now these will be different. And that's going to be the male version. As you can see, the male is here and the male is up top. Then we can take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. So there's our 4 parts, or at least the 2 parts, and we're going to make them the 4. But you can see how that now they're going to fit together. It wasn't a bad idea what he was trying. Left click, right click, and I'm going to turn them into red, and I'm going to turn them into a hairline so they'll cut. So that will work. Now what we need to figure out, and the thickness of the box is pretty much going to be, or the thickness of the wood, pretty much going to be determined by this. So we need to put it right there, and it's pretty much a match. But I think where he's having problems is it's not matching the slot. 2 ways you can do that. Let's take the Smart Fill tool and fill in that slot. Now we move it down and we can see it's 20 millimeters by 4. Okay? Let's measure this. The best way for me to measure it is take it and turn it into a hairline, get another line, 2-point line, and go from that node to that node. Turn it into a hairline so everything will be equal. Fill that in. And you can see this is 2-point, it's bigger. Here's the original. Here's what it needs to be. And there's our tab. So this is our original, so it needs to be 20 by 4. This is less than 4 high, and it's also 20.26 millimeters. They could maybe actually work. I don't know how small 0.26 millimeters is. But what we can do, this is the one we want. So I'm going to left click, right click, and put it in red, make it a hairline. And I'm going to put it on top of this. And you can see that it's deeper, and it should be a little bit smaller. So to make everything perfectly equal, we're going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. Take our shape and hit P and put it in the center of the page. Well, that's not our shape. Hit P, put it in the center of the page. And then holding down the control button and move it up, you can see how his joints is actually off center. And we actually need to check this to see if this is in the center. So we can take a 2-point or the parallel dimension tool, and I always go from node to maybe even. So we're at 5612. See, that's not in the center. So that's one of the problems right there. Everything needs to be in the center. So we'll fix that in a second. So we hold down the control button so we can't move it. And then we're going to set our nudge factor on something pretty little. Let's see what we have. That's probably little millimeters. And we're not going to move it. We're going to nudge it with my down arrow keys. You could hold down the shift key. We could actually move it closer. Hold down the control button. Now we don't want to move it from anywhere. That's pretty good. So what we can do now is take a 2-point line and go from there to there. And then we just want to delete all this black on the inside and the black on the outside, and then this. And then, and you see I didn't make that line a hairline, so I need to make it a hairline. Now, it's not part of the structure yet. Let's get rid of that. And you'll just remember that our top is our good one. So we're going to fill that in. We can move it out of the way. Take this and move it out of the way. Hit P, put that in the center of the page. Left click, right click, hairline. And he's doing that because he doesn't draw a hairline. Now what we can do is control or hit the plus key on the keyboard and make it black and then mirror it. And now the top one should be good, but the bottom one is off a little bit. So we made it black, so we're going to get rid of the black. The thickness is okay, but that way it's right in the center. Now we've got two lines there, but if we take the Smart Fill tool, he's got no outline set, so it shouldn't do that. But so now we've got the top and the bottom done. I'm going to left click, right click, actually in red. Let's get rid of all these so you won't get confused. And now let's put P and put it in the center of the page, and let's rotate it 90 degrees. Well, we need to make a duplicate in black and then rotate it 90 degrees. This is kind of to me, a backward way to do it, but it'll work. We need to turn it into a hairline so we can actually see them. And we made our copy black. I can't see the red, so we must be right on top of it. Let's just move that out of the way for a second. Oh, so I didn't make a copy of it. So let's hit Control D. And see also there, you need to set your duplicate distance on 0, 0. So now we're going to hit P, make sure it's in the same. Control D, make a duplicate, rotate it 90 degrees, and then make that duplicate red. This time, our bottom should be perfect, which it is, but our sides are off a little bit. I mean, we're just talking a minute little amount. That I don't like. I must have done that from the start. So what we can do is delete that node, but we need to make that straight. So we can take those two nodes, go up to align nodes vertically, and it moved that node over. So now we can delete this. And probably the same thing on the other side. This is probably a little bit confusing to a lot of people. And I think we're good to go. Let's check the top. Yep. So this should be right in the middle. So let's go ahead and take the Smart Fill tool. For some reason, I'm using orange. I was using orange earlier. And we can left click, right click. And let's make it red. Now what we can do, delete all this, hit P, and we can make a duplicate and mirror it sideways and then look at it so it's all even. Looks good. We can mirror it horizontally. And see, there's two copies there, so they're one on top of each other. So everything ought to be exactly in the middle, and you can see by the bounding box that it is. We can bring in an indexing line and hit P. That's right in the middle. Bring another one right in the middle. But here's the problem. So we only need one of these copies. I always delete the other one. Let's hit P. This, you can see that, well, you can't really see it. It's so close. And also, this box is going to have a little lip underneath the bottom. So here's one thing we can do is take a 2-point line and hit P. Let's get rid of our indexing lines. And now we can select the line, hold the Shift key down and select the box. Okay, I'm going to have to go up to Object and break the curve apart. So we can just grab the box, hold down the Shift key and grab the line and hit C. That put that box in the center. Now you would need to do the exact same thing, or, whoop, don't want to delete that. we want to take and make a smart field out of this. Smart field just creates a new object. We can delete that. We can grab that. We can left click, right click, and we can hit P. So that's going to be our male where this is our female. We're going to have to go ahead and hit P, and you can see how far that tab is off. Now, let me move back. So our red one is the real one. Our black one is the real one. The red is not. So we've got the red selected. I'm going to go to Object, break the curve apart. And realistically, that line looks thicker than a hairline. The black is what we need. You could realistically just take that box, they're the same size, and put it right there. Now, what I would do is set, let's see how big this is. Let's say 140 millimeters. Let's take that box and nudge it over, and we should be good to go. We're perfect. Now I would still, because we moved some stuff, I would use the Smart Fill tool to fill that in. Use the Smart Fill tool to fill that in. And then you can take both those and left click, right click in red, and turn that into a hairline. Now the boxes should fit perfectly together. And what it did, it joined them all together so you can't move that little tab. Let's back up here. Let's grab this one and grab that node using the 4-point cross, and you can see it fits. Now one other test, hit P, put it in the center of the page, hit P, put it in the center of the page. And you can see we're perfect. But we can move this up to this node. Well, I moved them both. Move that up to that node, and you can see they're perfectly aligned. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.